Ahmadu Bello, Prince Royal, was born 6th of December 1910 at Raba Village, Sokoto, northwestern Nigeria. His father was a district head and heir apparent to the Sultanate throne from the house of Usmanu Danfodio, a religious and social reformer who brought the Habib dynasty under the Fulani Caliphate in the beginning of the 19th century. Ahmadu Bello raised the bar of political consciousness in participation when, in 1944, he engineered the establishment of the Northern People's Congress (NPC) as the first political party in northern Nigeria and the rallying point for politicians in the region before independence. History will not forget Ahmadu Bello for his charisma and political sagacity, which provided easy passage for his kinsmen to assume political and administrative positions in Nigeria's post-independence era. The distinguished elder statesman and Sardauna of Sokoto has his face on his country's 200 naira currency as a mark of honor to one of the architects of Nigeria's independence. Western Spring Television identifies Ahmadu Bello as a watershed character in history. Western Spring Television, as it is.
Good afternoon, viewers at home, and you're welcome to Spring Clinic, a program where we dissect and we diagnose issues that have to do with medicine and medical practice. Today, our focus is on pharmacy and, of course, pharmacists. And I have in the house a pharmacist by profession, pharmacist Ahmed Oyetola, who is the managing director of Emilagba Pharmaceutical Company, Agunbelewo, here in Osogbo. So he's our neighbor. So you welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you.
Happy to meet you too.
So I want you to tell us the difference between a medicine store and a pharmacy store. Most often in the North, people just want to buy medicine and they go to the nearest shop to them. What's the difference between a medicine store and a pharmacy store?
Okay, thank you very much. Medicine shop or store is different from pharmacy shop. Pharmacy shop is a shop that is practiced, that is registered by pharmacists.
I think let's have the conversation. Okay, yeah.
Pharmacy shop is a shop that is registered by pharmacists.
Okay.
You must have pharmacists before that shop can be registered.
Okay.
And it is being controlled directly by the Ministry of Health, Osun State, and federally by Pharmacy Council of Nigeria. Medicine shop is just a patent medicine shop. That one is does not have to be manned, or is not manned by pharmacy before you can have medicine store. So, and medicine store medicine store, they have a certain limited number of drugs that they can sell. They can be on their table. It is generally called OTC drug, on-the-counter drug, or on-the-counter medicine, like paracetamol, alabukun, Pensic, and related items like that. Any other thing, they are not entitled, they are not to sell such drugs. Like injections,
antibiotics.
No. Antibiotics, they are not to sell. So it is only...
Is that the rule or the practice?
That is the rule of the practice.
But when
that is the mandatory rule that has been given to them.
Now I say, is that the rule or the practice? Because I can walk up to some patent medicine store in my neighborhood and I will get injections. I will get pharmaceutical, I will get antibiotics.
They are doing it unauthorized. If by act of commission or omission, they are being caught, they have to face the music. So they are not to sell antibiotics, they are not to sell injections.
When you go to a pharmacist shop, are you expected to first have a one-on-one with a pharmacist on duty and tell him your prescription or tell her your prescription, or just go there with a prescription? Why must a pharmacist be in a pharmacist store? If I have my prescription from an hospital and I approach a pharmacy store, and my prescription will be specific about the kind of drugs I want to buy or the injection I want to buy, do I need the services of a pharmacist before I buy my drug in a pharmacy store?
Yes, you need a pharmacist before you buy your drug. Because most of the drugs that are being written by doctors in the hospital, you either get it filled in the hospital, in pharmacy section in the hospital. Some drugs may be found in the pharmacy section. If it is not found, the onus lies on you, or you do not have enough money to even buy it in the pharmacy of that hospital. You go to pharmacy shop, or we also call it chemist. Ask for the pharmacist. If you do not ask for the pharmacist, any pharmacy technician or pharmacy sales guy will take you to the pharmacist. It is the pharmacist that is going to the way of written
the prescription
by the doctor. It is only the pharmacist or pharmacy technician that can interpret everything. The dosage form, and then the number of time, the number of days, the number of months that has to be used.
The pharmacy will not break it down.
The pharmacy will break it down for the patient. Apart from that, at times the drugs written might not be available. It is only the pharmacy that can know the exact one that can be used
as
an alternative.
But,
that are of the same family.
But let me ask you this.
Yes.
Prescription is the responsibility of medical doctors, not that of the pharmacist. You go to the hospital, a doctor diagnoses your ailment or your disease, then he or she makes prescription. You need this drug. You go to a pharmacist. The pharmacist is to interpret and give you that particular drug in question.
Yes.
Are you allowed to consult a pharmacist to make prescription for drugs? Are pharmacists allowed to do that, or they are doing beyond their brief in the medical practice when they make prescriptions independent of a medical doctor?
And the point is that there are so many functions of pharmacy in in community pharmacy practice, even in the hospital practice. You see, the doctor, the pharmacist, laboratory scientist, nurses, we work as a team. We work as a team, as health team, for the care of the patient. At times, we collaborate together because there is nobody that is all in all. And that is why doctor is specialized in, as the head of the team, after they have satisfied that this is what is happening to, this is the type of ailment, they'll be able to write the drugs. They cannot know everything.
That's right. Excuse me.
They cannot know everything in pharmacy. And that is why we work together. We do give advice, even in the hospital, that, okay, this is what is available, this is what we can give. Even at times before it is even written, some of the doctors must have contacted the pharmacy department, the head of the pharmacy, before it is being done. In most cases, pharmacy drug bulletin is always given to the doctors. So everybody has his own duty.
Areas of specialty and influence.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you about this issue of expired drugs.
Okay, thank you.
You go to a pharmacy store as a patient. You don't even know how to read expiry date.
Okay.
You just buy your drug. You know whether it has expired. And most often than not, people have gone to pharmacy stores and they bought expired drugs. Whose duty is to certify a drug expired or not? Is it the duty of a pharmacy in the pharmacy store or the attendant who are in the pharmacy store?
It is the duty of we collaborate together. It is the duty of the pharmacist to know whether the drugs has been expired and withdraw it on the counter. However, one cannot do everything alone. The pharmacy technician or pharmacy assistants should also be vigilant and know there's a way it is being controlled. The Ministry of Health, NAFDAC, occasionally we have been informed that either quarterly, bi-monthly, we should bring all expired drugs to the Ministry of Health or to the NAFDAC. So there is a routine, there is a control of doing that, even without the knowledge of the patient or customers that comes to the pharmacy to come and buy drugs.
Will you advise, I want you to advise me, if I walk into a pharmacy store, is it advisable for me to read the expiry date on a drug before making a purchase? Or I should buy drugs in trust that the pharmacist and the shop attendant have done their due diligence, have done their job? Because some people have been discussed, and that's why there's a lot of trust deficit between the patient and the medical team. Will you advise me to be painstaking enough when I pick a bottle of drug or a sachet of drug in the pharmacy store to check for the expiry date?
The patient is the owner, is the buyer, is the controller of the money. Once you buy it, you have to check. It is customary. Once any patient or customer comes to pharmacy to buy drug, the first thing they are going to check, even before purchase, is the expiry date. If they cannot read, they will ask, expiry date, please help me check the expiry date. It is very, very common to customers
to do that.
In
other climes, in saner climes, in the Western world, it's even an offense, punishable under the law, for a pharmacy store to display an expired drug. Talk less of. So they don't shield the responsibility to the patient or to the customers. It is the responsibility of pharmacists and those who work there as the gatekeeper. So they don't allow such drug to get into the market. Don't you think we should get to that level in Nigeria that I should just walk up into a store, I just pick a drug in trust that, okay, the pharmacists must have done their job, the store must have done its bit. So why should I have the responsibility of checking out for it? That if I get an expired drug in a pharmacy store, I'll be able to approach the court of law. Don't you think so?
Yes. And that is why I said the other time that there are some controlling body that monitors whatever we do. Even Pharmacy Council The Pharmacy Council, they have their branches in all the states. They collaborate with the Ministry of Health. They collaborate, they work in collaboration with NDLA, even NAFDAC. So all this routinely, I have told you the other time that either monthly or bi-monthly, you submit your expiry drug to Ministry of Health, who will collate everything and then submit it to NAFDAC. And there's a way they do it. Either jointly, the bond is being bound. So in future, we shall get to that level whereby one will be able to be trusted. But I can tell you from experience, anybody who even want to buy a sachet of paracetamol in any pharmacy, even Peter Medicine shop, they will ask for where is it written? The expiry date. So it's common to all customers.
Let me take you to the issue of counterfeited drugs. In publishing, they talk about piracy, but in pharmacy, some people are into this untoward business of selling drugs that are not real. Do you witness that? How do we checkmate that?
NAFDAC, some other controlling body, they have been doing a lot of work in respect of that. Most of the time, or all the time, NAFDAC, NDLA do inform us, even in the Ministry of Health and Pharmacy Council, that so drug has been discovered to be fake, to be substandard. Please withdraw all the drugs from the store or from your shop. It's been done from time to time. And anybody that is being caught, either by act of commission or omission, you forget
you face the music.
You face the music. You might be fined a reasonable amount of money.
So you say drug counterfeiting is not on the rise, on the increase in Nigeria today. We are fighting the menace.
We are fighting the menace, and it has been reduced drastically.
Will you say the fact that drug now costs an arm and a leg? It's expensive to buy drugs. Drugs that you were selling for 1,000 naira goes for as much as 3,000 naira. Though, has that given rise to those who are engaged in the untoward business of selling fake and substandard drugs?
Basically, what they are doing is not a normal thing. Ordinarily, if you are selling price and you adulterate it, you are subject to the rule of law, not to talk of drug. So it is the duty, I think the controlling body that I have said, in NAFDAC, as far as I know,
they are up and doing?
They are up and doing.
And doing their job?
They are doing their job. Especially in recent time when we had meeting about 2 months ago, the NAFDAC, we are even told that they have employed more hands, such that virtually every month they are going to be checking our drugs so that we should not be embarrassed. They have come to do their duty, to check counterfeiting drugs, to check all those drugs that have been informed properly that it should be withdrawn from the counter, and also the expired drug. And they have been doing that.
So you are confirming to us and to Nigerians that NAFDAC is up and doing, and they have enough inspectors that go around to ascertain that the drugs that are being sold to Nigerians are not fake and substandard. Are you confirming that, sir?
They are trying their best. These days, because of the economic situation in the country, generally, but they are reducing the menace, and as much as possible, they are getting more people employed for the control, so that the problem of getting right thing to the patient will be will be achieved.
Now, there's another worry that borders Nigeria. The issue of infiltration of Nigerian market with drugs that are fake as substandard from all manner of countries of the world. Do you think we have enough and effective control system to wall off the nation against the infiltration of the market with this kind of drugs?
Yes, we have. You see, either through the port, either whichever means, before you can import any drugs into the country. Just as I have told you, there are many control bodies that has to certify it. And if they happen to get into the country or into the market, for one way or the other, you are caught, you are in trouble. And this has reduced, as far as I know, it has reduced drastically, if not being wiped off. Because, as you have said, the price of goods are skyrocketing, and then they want to find one way or the other to make sure that they get a lot of money within one day or 2 days. So, just as I have said, all the controlling bodies, they are doing their work very well and diligently, and they do not relent on their effort to expand, to improve, and to even get more hands, so that this menace will be wiped off in our society.
Pharmacist Oyetola, drug abuse is on the increase in Nigeria. A lot of youth are abused.
A lot of
youth, Nigerian youth,
okay,
and even adults are abusing drugs. Tramadol is a drug that comes to mind. And there have been cases when NAFDAC and other agencies raided some pharmacy stores, and they found more than required bottles or numbers of tramadol in the possession of pharmacists who want to make money anyway and sell drugs. How do you think we can stop this, or we can control the sales of controlled drugs like tramadol and others?
Basically, tramadol and related drugs, we tag them as poison. Ideally, so basically, it cannot be dispensed without prescription. Anybody that is doing that, or you stock drug like the tramadol in question. You see, what I would say is that there's a way it is being controlled. Controlled in the sense that once you want to buy, once it is written for you, and there's a prescription to that, you get it filled. And there is a poison book that has to be written and recorded. Where you even purchase it, there is also poison book. Just to control it is a measure of control. You have to sign that you buy it. Any other time, the controlling body, they can also come to the shop. So item was purchased so time at so place. Can we see how you have dispensed it? Where is the balance? Well, who are those people? Who are those patients that you prescribe it for? If anything that is done outside this, you are on your own.
Now, it's good. You've just painted the right scenario, the rules. You set the rules. How come? Tell us how people are circumventing this rule, that we get to see a lot of people out there, youth, adults, abusing this kind of drugs that were to be tagged poison. How come some people will walk to a medicine store or the pharmacy store and buy 4 or 5 bottles of tramadol to satisfy its text for drug abuse? How do you think your colleagues or medicine stores are circumventing this rule?
As far as I know, as a pharmacist, I do not circumvent it, and I do not know the way of circumventing it. I do the right thing and the right time. Any other, like Peter medicine that you mean that is selling it, is selling what he's supposed not to sell. And if it's being caught, it's gone. So as far as I know, I don't know.
So you can offer suggestions to NAFDAC, to other regulatory agencies on how best to police the pharmacy market and industry to ensure that we control how people are gaining access or having access to this kind of drugs that will be tagged poison ordinarily. You want to make suggestions to government?
The suggestion is that, you see, there should be, even generally, there should be public enlightenment. It is not only tramadol that is being abused. Even illicit drugs, like even alcohol. The government or the ministry and all the agencies, they have set up they have set up enlightenment program. In the local governments, they should do that. From time immemorial, this has been taken to the rural areas. Such should be improved upon. Because of the economic situation of the country, if this is done and is being improved or is being done most of the time, the hazard of using all this will be reduced.
So you are suggesting proper advocacy.
Proper advocacy, proper enlightenment program should continue or be improved upon in all the nooks and corners of the country. That is my suggestion.
And amongst you pharmacists, you discuss this issue?
We do.
Of drug abuse?
We do. We have meeting every month.
Because people say you are the purveyor, that these drugs get into the market through the pharmacy stores, through the medicine stores. So you are the channel through which these things get into the market. And that you're not playing your police role very well, or you are not playing your gatekeeper's role very well. And that's why the market is littered with all manner of drugs that people are abusing. Do you agree with that?
I do not agree with that, though. I do not agree with that. You see, Nigeria, I'm sorry, they can use many means, or all means, or every means to get whatever they want by all means. Not even any amount. So, if such has been successful, they will be using such channel. There's no pharmacist that's going to put his name, to put his name in the mode for such thing.
Pharmacist Oyetola, drugs cost a lot now. The fact that Nigerian currency has been weakened, Naira is very weak, it's at the lowest ebb. Imported drugs, even locally manufactured drugs, now cost an arm and a leg. And F is important. F, they say, is worth. How expensive do you think drugs are in the market today? What percentage of increase have you witnessed in the prices of drugs?
The percentage that I've witnessed is 50%.
Not 100%?
In practice, I have initially drugs are not being affected before, but now it's being affected. Drugs that some are double, some are 100%, but when you talk generally, 50% above, or let's say 50 to 100%.
Why are drugs affected? Why are drugs expensive now?
It's because of the importation, the issue of removal of subsidy. Removal of subsidy, it affects everything. Facet of the economy, it affects everything.
Are you saying it is the cost of transportation that has impacted so much on the cost of drug, or the cost of importing
the cost of importing raw materials, the cost of transportation. Very recently, I don't know whether I can make a quote.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, we do buy alabukun or
That's a Nigerian-made drug.
the raw materials.
Yes, right.
That is it, the raw materials. Even when you are talking, in terms of transportation, distribution, that used to cost 10 sachets, that used to cost maybe 1,450 or so, just skyrocketed to 3,450. So if someone has been selling 200 naira, what it means is that it has to be 400 naira.
Pharmacist Oyetola, I'm still coming back to you. We are going to be going on a short break now. When we return, I will take you on Nigerian-made drugs and how can we standardize that and improve on that. Viewers have been having a tete-a-tete with pharmacist Ahmed Ayobami Oyetola, Managing Director, Emilagba Pharmacy, Agumbelewu here in Osogbo. We'll be discussing issues on the Nigerian medical practice, the pharmacy as an area of medical practice, and issues affecting that sector of the Nigerian economy. After this break, we will continue on other aspects of the discourse. Don't go anywhere.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker and philosopher, Awo was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration paraded several enviable records. First television station in Africa, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, first modern civil service secretariat in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history.
Up to 75% of human infectious diseases originates in animals. And as more bushmeat is brought into our cities, the risk of human infectious disease outbreaks increases. Ebola, monkeypox, Lassa fever, yellow fever, and even COVID-19 may have been transmitted in this way. Illegal bushmeat trade not only endangers our wildlife, but affects our health and may damage our economy. So please, say no to illegal bushmeat. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
You welcome back. My guest is very much in the house, pharmacist Ahmed Ayobami Oyetola, Managing Director, Emilagba Pharmacy at Agumbelewu here in the city of Osogbo. So I thank you for staying on the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I was asking you before we went to the short break about the prices of drugs today in Nigeria. Don't you think that is constituting a serious problem for medical practice in Nigeria? If an average Nigerian cannot afford access to drugs that it needs to stay alive, what do you think government can do in concrete terms to make drug accessible to Nigerians and affordable, most important?
Among other things, there should be reduction in the taxation. They should reduce the tax. If I get the point, that is
The VAT,
the VAT, the
import duties.
the import duties, the import duties, and some other things, so that there will be reduction in multiple taxation, which I think
government is doing something around that
the
now.
government is doing.
They want to streamline the tax
Yes.
system,
I
ensure that Nigerians
I
pay.
think with that streamlining, I think by the grace of God, things will come down with reduction to avoid multiple taxes, reduction in importation duties, importation duty of raw materials or even finished products. Things will go down. And by we are also the measures they are putting in respect of reduction in petrol. If that also comes down, it's going to go a long way to reduce the price of or the cost of drugs in the market.
As a practitioner, sir, do you think we import more drugs that we produce locally, or we produce locally that we import from abroad?
We import more drugs than we produce locally.
So
we should also improve. The government should make the enabling environment to be suitable for outside, for business in the outside to come and stage Nigeria to produce drugs. That's my advice.
So the environment is harsh. Because you understand that even some pharmaceutical companies are actually leaving the nation due to energy challenge, taxation, exchange rate, insecurity.
Yes.
So those are the contributing factors to what we witness today.
If all those things are removed, I think if there's an enabling environment, all this we how would I put it? We entice the business, the outsiders to come and who are interested to come and establish their manufacturing companies in the country, which is better.
You are a pharmacist, and the duty of a pharmacist goes beyond selling drugs. It's actually about making drugs. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. Not only making drugs.
What else do you do?
Even drug counseling.
I understand.
But
my interest is around making drugs.
Okay, yeah.
Putting drugs together. How come we don't have so many Nigerian made drugs? And we have so many pharmacists. That a drug that will be original, exclusive to a Nigerian pharmacist. That my name is pharmacist so, and I've invented this drug. It's good for this ailment, this disease. How come we don't have so many of such in Nigeria?
It's because of the environment that we find ourselves. Basically, drugs, they are of root and rhizome origin. It is being produced outside the country. Most of the raw materials that we use in the production of drugs, basically they are imported. And if you do not have the wherewithal, the economy, one will not be able to dabble in such things.
I know you Western trained pharmacists are against herbal medicine practitioners. And most Nigerians, some Nigerians, especially in the hinterland, or those who are living below the poverty line, they patronize this local herbal medicine practitioners. Do you subscribe to the practice of herbal medicine?
See, the point is that because of the economic hardship, many these days, some people say, I want to look, they do not find cure. Or because of the economic reason, they go to Alagbo and some other places. To answer your question, yes, there are some efficacious alternatives. From my own personal experience. And the issue of ABBA is part of our training. There is a course that is being called pharmacognosy, the study of medicinal herbs. Personally or otherwise, some people even have such interest right from the own go. So from practice, some customers, they will say, once they are not satisfied, at times from practice, they even say, do you have alternative medicine?
They will ask for, even from the beginning, from the word go.
I have to be frank with you.
I know, I appreciate that.
Yes.
We say it as it is on Western Spring television.
They ask for alternative medicine.
Sir, since you have experience or you have experienced the efficacy in some alternatives or the efficacious elements in some alternatives, why can't we annex this potential and these resources to come up with Nigerian-made drugs? Alabuku is a Nigerian-made drug. Is as old as so many of us, even older than so many of us, and it's still as relevant as today. It's going to be very relevant. And it's a Nigerian-made drug. Because I believe that there are ailments, there are diseases that are peculiar to us as a people. And the solution or the antidote to those things can only come from a Nigerian solution. Don't you subscribe to that? That we need to think inward and come up with medical solutions to our medical problem because they're exclusive to us as a people. Environment, everything taken into consideration.
I think the government should take interest in that. If the government take interest in that, they should also by pumping more money into the research. We have so many universities now that have faculty of pharmacy. They do research most of the time, all the time. It is this economy that is the major problem in the country.
Is it the economy or our over-reliance on imported drugs? I remember there was a time a guy was called Abalaka who claimed that he had found a cure to AIDS, HIV/AIDS, but he couldn't prove it. I know that research or medicine, you have to prove it beyond reasonable doubt, or you have to be able to, I don't know the word they used now. I can't remember that word now. What do you think? How do you think we can challenge Nigerian pharmacists to think deep and look inward and come up with Nigerian medical formulas to Nigerian ailments and diseases without even relying on government? Because if you do it, somebody told me a long time ago, sir, that you make money from finding solutions to human problems. If today that you make money from finding solutions to problems, if you can bridge a gap for humanity. For instance, there's cancer all over the world. Whoever comes up with solutions to cancer in terms of medicine is going to make money. You patent it, your generations will make money. And it takes research and diligence for you to come up with a solution to a problem never solved before. You are thinking out of the box, you are in the laboratory yourself, and you are looking for solutions to problems. Do you think Nigerian pharmacists are wired and oriented to find solutions to problems, or they are oriented to just sell drugs and make money from selling imported drugs?
They are oriented to look into the problems, to look into the alternatives of finding solution of whatever Western medicine cannot do.
Back when we don't have so many drugs made by Nigerian pharmacists, that we still have to buy Bicham, we have to buy all these imported drugs.
It is over-reliance
On imported things.
on imported things. It is only when they are stopped or they cannot get solution to it, then now look for alternative. It may not be Aba. It may even be, what is it called? The
Acupuncture, the Chinese one.
The Chinese. So over-reliance is our major problem.
So we are contented with what we have and we are not looking inward. Somebody told me also, you must have heard that necessity is the mother of invention. Now that our economy is in a quagmire, we are stuck, as it were, financially and economically, and Nigerians are buying drugs at exorbitant prices, and they are crying, and they want help. Don't you think this is the time for you people to come together as pharmacists, as practitioners, as professionals, and look inward and come up with Nigerian solutions to Nigerian problems? So that, because Medicare and Netcare is very important. A nation cannot grow without sound health system.
Yes, this is the right time, more than ever before, that we should come together. Anybody that can prove or that has anything that can be of solution, that can either herbal or whatever, there should be a setup. I think there is a setup. They are doing something like that in most of the major faculties, major pharmacy faculties in the country, in Nigeria. Sometimes when I went for a meeting, I think our present ESN chairman, Professor Akamo, said something like that they are trying to get, put some people together in respect of ABBA alternate drugs. I think they are doing work on it.
But do you think Western-trained pharmacists like you will be well disposed to tapping into the efficacious alternatives of this ABBA medicine, or even sit these ABBA medicine practitioners down and try to speak to them, to interrogate them, and to crop some of the ideas that you can now fine-tune and make it empirically proven, so that after being tested and it goes through the scientific process, then it can be fit for human consumption? Don't you think that's necessary?
Yes, it's necessary. I think that is the essence of the board that is being set up recently. I'm interested in it. I'm also interested.
Now, I want to ask you this question before we call it a day on this program today.
Okay.
I've observed that you pharmacists are very protective of your job. If, for instance, as a trained journalist, if I want to set up a pharmacy store, you always cry foul and raise unnecessary barriers and make it difficult for non-pharmacists to invest in the pharmacy profession. Why do you do that?
I'm not aware of that, because there are some non-pharmacists that own pharmacies all across the nation. We have some even in Oshobo, which you also know.
Yes, before. But now, because I have a friend of mine just set up a store.
The point is that
the Pharmacy Association is making it very peculiar.
The point is that you have mentioned some things, we have discussed some things. I don't want to personalize how some drugs get into the country.
Or wholesome practices.
Unwholesome practices.
By untrained investors.
Who are always or majorly interested in making money.
And not protecting
the profession. So that has to be
taken into consideration.
That's the reason.
How strong is your association in Osun State? Let's discuss that.
Our association is very, very strong.
And it's waxing stronger.
And it's working.
And now it's the business in the state.
We thank God.
You have been in the business for a long time. You have made a lot of good millions.
Alhamdulillah. I thank God.
We bless the name of the Lord.
We worship.
Nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
We
I'm
appreciate you
grateful.
for coming.
Yeah.
Viewers have been having discussion with pharmacist Ahmed Ayobami Oyetola, Managing Director, Emilagwa Pharmacy Store, Agumbelewu in Oshobo. And we have been diagnosing issues around medical practice as far as pharmacy is concerned. Until next week, when we shall bring you another equally qualified medical practitioners to come on this program, Spring Clinic, to dissect and to diagnose medical-related issues. I remain yours sincerely, Femi Adefila, saying bye for now.
Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was an anti-apartheid activist who gave his all for the elimination of what has been described as the world's most vicious rule of the unjust and man's inhumanity against man. He was born July 18, 1918 in Mvezo, South Africa, educated and trained